All right. Welcome back for another Coffee with Laura. Of course, I am Laura, just your friendly health and life coach here to help share really important information about how to truly be healthy, lose weight, heal your relationship with food, stress less. Who doesn't want that? And build confidence within yourself. And if you haven't already heard about the free, fun, awesome stuff that I just love to give away, then you really want to make sure that you sign up for my free Nutrition 101 challenge. It is super simple. You DM me, I sign you up for the course, I send you the link to sign up for the challenge, and then each week you get that accountability with everybody else to really learn to think differently about food because it all starts at our brain. There's a power dynamic in our head, and when we don't nurture that, we end up being the ones that suffer it. So if you haven't signed up, make sure you DM me your email and we will get you started. But that's not even what I'm here to talk about. I'm going to talk about a topic we all have struggled with: the frustration of not being able to lose weight. And yes, it very much does have to do with how we think. But a mistake I made, like several other of my clients I know have made, so probably even people who aren't my clients have made, is we get so overly focused on one of the health factors. And what I've noticed is people tend to normally drift either towards fitness or towards food. And I get it, but we tend to navigate a little bit more towards fitness overall because that's, like 1 hour a day, like 5 hours a week, whereas like food, it's a little bit longer and completely and directly linked to our pleasure. So we aren't as willing to adjust that. But I had this client who recently said to me, "This is such a waste of time. It doesn't work. I was consistent with my workouts for a month, not missing a day, and still I didn't lose a single pound." When she said that, it hit my heart because I totally remember being in that stage and how frustrating it is doing what all the health experts, say you need to do and not getting the results. But here's something I've learned through my own struggle with those types of thoughts and even going into my nutrition. We start normally at fitness or food. My suggestion, start at the mind because the mind controls fitness and food. But here's a challenge. We believe if we have the perfect workout, if we eat perfectly, then we'll lose weight. And if we're not losing weight when we're being perfect in our workouts or working as hard as we can, then clearly our workouts aren't good enough. Is that the only solution? What do you think the statistics are that that's kind of a load of crap? Pretty high. And technically, perfectionism is a emotional safety tool to begin with. If I'm perfect, then I can't be hurt or bothered or experience any of the things I don't want to experience, but it doesn't really work that way. It puts us into black and white thinking. Either I'm perfect or I'm not. Newsflash. If you're not losing weight, it's not because your workouts aren't perfect. It's probably because you're not addressing all of the health elements. So how do we experience it? Besides having those thoughts of not being enough or that you're not doing enough, we normally end up cueing that inner bully to berate us, shame us, guilt us, and make us feel like we're not enough, making us think we need to work harder, ultimately harming the relationship we have with workouts or food and not getting the results we want because we just end up inducing more stress. Our brain is super sneaky. We then just try to control everything. Instead of gathering information and being adaptable, which is like one of the awesome things about being human, our ability to adapt, we don't use it. We just like beating ourselves up. Not because it's enjoyable, because it's familiar and we don't know what else to do sometimes. So I'm going to tell you what else to do, obviously. What I do know is trying to control it. It has to be this is not the way. When I did that, I couldn't break 150. Not doing that, I just broke 130. Haven't done that since high school. It's wild. And I have a terrible analogy, but you're going to get it. I love dogs. I'm not saying we are dogs, but for a moment I'm going to compare us to dogs. When you get a new puppy, God, they're so cute. Honoring the necessary boundaries to make sure your dog doesn't get, used to certain things in life that would then make your life annoying. We have to learn, right? We have this idea of what it's going to look like. I'm going to walk them here and here and here, and then it's going to be fine. Oh, what do you know? The dog has way more energy. It needs to be walked and played with and all these different things. So we learn to adapt. We learn to shift how we play with our pup so that it fits with our life. But we don't do it for ourselves. We don't adapt. If we still keep looking at workouts or food as like the only things that need to be perfect and we're not losing weight, maybe we need to look at other factors, right? Or if you're not getting your workouts in because you plan to do them in the morning and all of a sudden you're just too tired, or you plan to do them at night and work gets too busy, okay, maybe you need to think about doing them at a different time. I used to have no problem working out because I worked at a gym, so in between my shifts I would just work out. And then COVID hit, I stopped working at a gym, I started my own business, and I struggled to find the balance. Now I wake up at 4 a.m. to get my workouts in. Do I enjoy 4 a.m.? No. Screw 4 a.m. What I enjoy is feeling accomplished and starting my day that way. And there are days where I do sacrifice sleep, another healthy element, because the positive reward I get from waking up and doing my workouts are just so magnetic for me, it's worth it. Which ultimately takes me to why this matters. One of the main reasons why I decided to become a health and life coach beyond personal training and being a nutrition specialist is there's nothing I find more frustrating than people who are genuinely trying to be healthy, following the advice of the experts, and not getting the results they desire, not because they're not trying, but because they don't know how to. It is beyond frustrating to me because you're trying and the system's working against you. In order to not make consistency feel impossible and not only rely on willpower, which is like a muscle, which will eventually fatigue, let's adapt and learn to shift how we think, shall we? So, where do you start? Well, there's a bunch of solutions. So let's start with all those and then you can kind of choose the one that fits best for you. First, notice how movement makes you feel. Key here, not during, after. Why? Our limbic system, which is the motivational triad, it has 3 objectives: seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. This is what gives us motivation or doesn't. If we are focused on exercising, that's energy conservation and typically some type of discomfort, which can categorize as pain in the limbic system, building the mental friction and making us not want to work out. But can anyone disagree with me that when you actually do work out, you feel better? I've yet to hear someone say, I regret that workout, right? You need to focus on how good you feel after the workout. Train your brain to seek the pleasure, and then your brain will be like, oh yeah, okay, I like that. Let's go do that. And work with yourself in terms of duration and challenge. Nurture the pleasurable relationship that you're trying to cultivate. This is one of my favorite tricks. Start on Fridays. God, I hear this all the time. All right, starting Monday, I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to work out 5 times a week for an hour and a half. All right, says someone working out once a week for 30 minutes, maybe every other week, not really consistently. Does that seem like a realistically adaptable step? No. My favorite tip for people who are trying to integrate a regularly consistent workout program is not to start on Monday. Screw Monday. There's too many days to fail after Monday. Start on Friday and start small. Build the regular Fridays in, and your brain's gonna be like, oh, okay, we can do this. It builds your self-efficacy. It makes you feel good. Guess what? Your brain is pulled to things that make you feel good and build your confidence. Look at that. We're just continuing to go into our workouts because we're just starting on a Friday. Think of that. Yeah. And celebrate. I know we're not very good at this. Celebrate movement in totally different categories. There is no such thing as a perfect workout. Dance, skip, run, lift weights. Don't worry about, well, the Surgeon General says it should be this and this and this. You'll get there once you build the consistency. Here's the thing. Pleasure equals consistency equals results. Very simple. Our brain likes pleasure. It will seek pleasure consistently. If it learns it gets pleasure from movement consistently, it will want to be consistent, and then that will eventually equal results. It's just science. I can't really negate that. But if you can celebrate movement in totally different ways, there are days where I'm so mad, I just want to dance. And I have gotten my heart rate to be as high as it is when I do sprints, when I'm just doing dancing. So don't negate that. Lastly, listen to your body. There are days I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna like really get after it with my strength training. And then I actually crawl out of bed and it's like soreness overload. If I went to do strength training that day, I'd likely injure myself, which would just make me angrier because then I'd have to work out less for a longer period of time. Those days, I realized, that plan was not the best idea considering how I woke up today. I need to adjust, and I'll do some dancing. I'll do some abs. I'll do some yoga. I'll do some Pilates. Variety. Our body is meant to move in a variety of different ways. The more we do that, the more coordinated we are in general. And we don't get bored, which is like a huge issue with people in general. So where do you start? My suggestion, trust yourself. And if you find yourself like going to it needs to be all of these things, stop it and go to the smallest thing. But my suggestion, if you don't know where to start, is to let your body guide you. Each time you're thinking of going to move your body, consider, how do I want to feel at the end of my movement? And what type of movement would actually give me that? This is what I coach a lot of my clients on. And I had a client literally this week tell me she is so confident in her workouts. And she is a business owner and mother of two, so she does not have a lot of time. And she's like, my workouts are where I feel like me now, because she's letting the movement guide the energy she needs. It's not about losing weight. It's not about fitting into some cultural idea of what being healthy looks like. It's literally just about her being able to be herself. Do you know how powerful of a motivator that is? My point being, when you get hooked on the perfect workout, it has to look this way, you're self-sabotaging yourself. You're not going to end up with the results that you want. Bummer, I know. Instead, let yourself off the hook, listen to your body, and focus on pleasure to consistency. Just get those 2 steps down and listen to what your body is calling for. And as always, I love giving you guys free stuff. Please, I encourage you to join, did you see that? Encourage you to join the Nutrition 101 Challenge so that you can learn a little bit more about what carbs, fat, and protein are actually doing in your body so you can understand more of what you need. As always, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week on Coffee with Laura.